Hey, are you playing any games? Look, I don't know you. It's not like I'm staring through your window right now. Ugh. But if you're anything like me, then there is so many games out there that you have started at one point and never finished. And the list grows even more with all the games that we want to actually play. Like you and me. Independently, of course. From what I've seen online, we are not the only ones. And maybe you know this feeling, but at some point it stopped being a list of games and is more of a list of chores. Like a to-do list. A really weird one. I just now realized that some of the games on my list are old enough to vote by now. If that sounds kind of familiar to you, then you obviously already know that you are also suffering from video game backlog. And let's make a pact. We do not count the games that we start at one point and then get bored, so we stop, or they are just bad. Our list is big enough. We are tortured enough. We don't need any more games on that list. So let me give you the worst example on my video game backlog. Skyward Sword. Should I tell you how far I got in that game? Not like you have any choice anyway. I got to the final boss. So realistically, all I need to do is turn on the switch, start the game, roll the credits. And Skyward Sword is just one game on my backlog. This thing has been aged for so long. If it would be a whiskey, it would be premium, top shelf, whatever. And if yours is any similar, you're probably also an adult. Old and wrinkly, just like me. And as an old person, there's always something getting in the way. You know, responsibilities and stuff. Especially those we didn't sign up for. But even without responsibilities, the constant flow of new games doesn't really help with, focusing on a single game. Apparently this is called shiny object syndrome. If something is new and shiny, it is just way more exciting to us. In comparison, our old stuff looks, well, old and dusty. And funnily enough, even that doesn't help anymore. I recently bought God of War Ragnarok, this God of War game. And guess what is currently collecting dust on the shelf? I haven't even downloaded the 15 terabyte of patches that you need to start the game. My gaming backlog is like some gonna play this at some point limbo, some weird plane of existence, and God of War is now also residing there. But let's all come together and push our responsibilities away from us. That's just easier. Let's just say it's the gaming industry's fault. As I said before, it really doesn't help that more and more games get released every year. So if they could just hold the presses, we all finish our games, our backlog, and then they can release new games, and we play those. But somehow I think it doesn't really work like that. And with subscription services, our backlog of course doesn't only grow with new games, it also gets all the old games that we can now access for like $1 a month. Of course there is Gamepass, and then there is Sony, PlayStation, Plus, Premium, Ultra, HD, 2000, like something like this. God, I really sound like an old person. Here, I got you a Game Boy. So with all of those subscription services, I think we can wave our backlogs anyway goodbye. We will never reach that. And the worst part is, and at least for me, maybe it's the same for you, but the games that always suck me in, like on those subscription services, are those mind-numbing simulator ones. I sat there multiple hours at one point, mowing a lawn. Why? What? Seriously? And this was different back then. Look, it's gonna be old person nostalgia time now. So back then, no, I'm not gonna do the voice, I'm gonna go crazy. So back then when Wind Waker, another Zelda game, was released for the GameCube, and that was about 1,000 years ago, I got the game for my birthday. I even got the game guide, it's this massive book, and I got it twice. So I was able to take one of those books, well, I sneaked it into school. And in between classes, I would often sit at my desk like a loser and read through my guidebook. I would daydream about playing it when I come back home. I mean, it was the game. I was so immersed. It was the one game I was playing. But somehow this magic of playing this one game and being completely immersed in the world kinda got lost. And maybe it's because I'm old. And maybe that's the moral of the story. Just don't get old. Because then you have to pay taxes and games are not fun anymore. Nah, wait, that's a very stupid moral. What could we do instead? Oh yeah, true, responsibility. Let's push it away. It's the industry's fault.